Welcome to Echoes of the Game, where sports history comes alive. From legendary athletes to unforgettable moments, we dive deep into the plays, rivalries, and stories that shaped the game. Whether it's a walk-off home run, a game-winning buzzer beater, or a championship-clinching goal, we relive the greatest moments and celebrate the icons who made them happen. Join us as we break down the history, discuss the legends, and keep the echoes of the past alive. Thank you for being part of this journey. Now, let's step into history.
All right, so we're diving into something that's been on a lot of Yankee fans' minds, I think, for years now. Was 2009 just a fluke, or was it like a masterclass in how you build a championship team?
We're going way deeper than just what happened on the field, right? We're going to look at all the front office moves that even made that season possible.
Yeah, we're going to try to break down this team like those cooking shows, right? They take some fancy dish and show you every single ingredient.
Right, exactly.
Mm.
Except instead of, fancy herbs and spices.
We've got CC Sabathia, Mark Teixeira.
Exactly. And maybe some ingredients that you wouldn't expect, right?
Yeah, sometimes those are the ones that really make a dish special, right?
Totally.
Oh,
Okay, so let's get everyone on the same page here. It's 2009, brand new stadium. Yankee fans are expecting big things.
big things, yeah.
But then there's 2008, right? The Yankees don't even make the playoffs for the first time in, 15 years? So
Yeah.
something had to change.
For sure. I mean, there was so much pressure on them to win, to kind of prove themselves all over again in this new era. Right. And that's where things get really interesting. I mean, we're talking about a major changing of the guard here. George Steinbrenner, the boss, steps down. His son, Hal, takes over. And I'm wondering, did that leadership change? Did that have anything to do with the big moves that happened?
Well, it definitely makes you think, right? I mean, Hal was taking over a team, well, they were kind of at a crossroads. So did he follow his dad's, big spending ways, or did he do something totally different?
Yeah, good question. And I think the first thing on his to-do list was to shake up the roster. And I mean, really shake it up. A lot of Yankee fans had never seen anything like it.
Yeah, it was a crazy offseason. Mike Mussina retires. They let go of Jason Giambi, Carl Pavano, Bobby Abreu, Ivan Rodriguez. Gone.
Whoa. So they pretty much cleaned house? I mean, wasn't that a huge risk?
Well, it was a risk, but it was calculated. Think about it. They got rid of almost $89 million in payroll. And that gave them the flexibility to do, well, pretty much anything they wanted.
Hold on. $89 million. That's an insane amount of money. But you're saying this wasn't just about saving money, right?
No, not at all. It was strategic. They were basically clearing the deck for a total rebuild.
And that's where Brian Cashman, the general manager, really comes in.
Yeah, Cashman. He's the guy who really made 2009 happen. So what did he do with all this financial freedom?
Well, he went on a shopping spree, but not the kind where you just buy whatever you see. Every single signing had a purpose. He was filling specific holes in the team.
Okay, so who are the big names, the big signings?
Well, they needed starting pitching, desperately. So they signed CC Sabathia to a 7-year contract, $161 million.
Whoa. Sabathia was already an ace, a total workhorse. But you need more than one good pitcher to win it all, right?
Right. So they also signed A.J. Burnett. 5 years, $82.5 million. Now, Burnett was a bit of a gamble. Sometimes he was amazing. Other times, well, not so much.
Okay, so you've got Sabathia, who's reliable, and Burnett, who's a bit of a wild card.
Yeah.
What else did they need?
They still needed a first baseman. And they get, well, probably the best first baseman available that year, Mark Teixeira. Teixeira, a switch hitter, and, I mean, the guy could just crush the ball.
Right.
That was a huge signing, right? Like 8 years, $180 million.
You got it.
Yeah.
And Teixeira was exactly what they needed. Power, consistency, gold glove defense at first. He really completed the puzzle.
Okay, so we've got Sabathia, Burnett, and Teixeira. Pretty impressive lineup. But were there any other, any under-the-radar moves that people might not remember?
Yeah, they also brought back a couple of familiar faces, Chien-Ming Wang and Andy Pettitte.
Oh, yeah, Wang was coming back from an injury, but when he was healthy, the guy was good. And Pettitte was, well, he was Mr. Reliable, especially in the playoffs.
Exactly, and that's something people forget about that 2009 team. It wasn't just about the big stars. They had veterans, guys with experience, and young players with potential. They had everything you need to win.
So they had all the pieces in place. But did it actually translate to wins on the field? That's what we're going to look at next.
Yep. We'll break down that season, look at how those signings actually performed, and try to figure out if the Yankees built a champion or just got lucky.
Okay, so we've talked about, the whole backdrop for this team, right? New leadership, a crazy offseason, tons of money spent, but did it actually work?
Oh, yeah, it definitely worked.
Yeah.
That 2009 season, man, they started off on fire. The stadium, the fans, it was electric.
I bet. But I mean, everyone knows they won the World Series, right? But how'd they actually do it? Like, did those big signings actually pan out?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like CC Sabathia, I mean, he was everything the Yankees hoped for. He won 19 games, had an ERA under 3.5, led the league in innings pitched.
Wow, so he really was their workhorse.
Yeah.
What about A.J. Burnett, though? We talked about how he was kind of a risky signing.
Yeah, Burnett was a little up and down, to be honest. I mean, he won 13 games, but his ERA was over 4. He had some great games, but he also, he struggled with control sometimes, gave up too many home runs.
So kind of a mixed bag with Burnett, but it probably helped to have Sabathia, right? Someone they could always count on. And what about the hitting? Did Teixeira live up to that giant contract?
Oh, Teixeira was a monster at the plate. Hit almost .300, 39 homers, over 100 RBIs, and he always seemed to come through in the big moments.
So he was the power hitter they were looking for. But baseball's a team sport, right? Was there anyone else who surprised you that year?
Definitely. Nick Swisher. They got him in a trade with the White Sox, and he had a breakout year, 29 homers, and I don't know, he just brought this energy to the team, kept everyone loose.
Oh, yeah. Swisher, he always seemed like he was having fun out there. But what about the old guard? Did Jeter and Posada, did they still have it?
Oh, yeah. Jeter hit over .300. And Posada was still, I mean, he was the leader behind the plate. He helped those young pitchers so much.
Right, you need those veteran guys for sure. But did they sail through the whole season? Or were there some rough patches?
Well, every team has ups and downs,
Yeah.
right? They had some injuries, guys went through slumps, some tough losses. But, they were resilient, never gave up.
And speaking of not giving up, I mean, who could forget that game against the Red Sox? The one that went to extra innings, drama, clutch hits, A-Rod with the game-winning homer.
That game was crazy.
Yeah.
It was like a mini version of their whole season, just battling until the very end.
That's the kind of game that can really bring a team together, right? Like, once you pull off something like that, you start to believe you can do anything. So they had the talent, the chemistry, the never-give-up attitude. Was there any luck involved, too? Like, do you need a little luck to win it all?
Well, sure, luck's always part of it. But I don't think they just got lucky. They earned that World Series. They were the best team, no question.
So going back to that question we started with, you're saying this was a masterclass? Not a fluke.
Absolutely. I mean, they knew their weaknesses, they fixed them, and then those players, they did exactly what they were supposed to do. It's a perfect example of how to build a championship team.
And yet, 2009 was their last World Series. Why haven't they been able to do it again? I mean, it's been years.
That's the big question, right? Baseball's changed. Other teams got better, and, well, the Yankees haven't always made the best decisions, especially when it comes to free agents.
So you're saying that what worked in 2009 it might not work today?
It's not that simple anymore. You need good young players, smart trades, and, yeah, you still need to sign the right free agents.
Yeah.
But you also need that something extra, the right personalities, the leadership. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, so much has changed in baseball, even since 2009. Like, now it's all about analytics, and you've got all these young superstars, and pitching and defense seem way more important than hitting home runs.
It's a different game now. The Yankees, I mean, they've tried to keep up, but they haven't found that winning formula again.
There's a lot to think about there. And I think this is a good time to move on to our last segment. We'll talk about what the 2009 Yankees mean today. What lessons can we learn from them, both for the Yankees and for, well, any team or business or anything that wants to be successful.
Yeah, stick around. We'll be back after a quick break.
So we've really dug into this 2009 team, right? We've talked about what they did in the offseason, how they played on the field, but it was a long time ago. And they haven't won it all since then. So what can we learn from that season? And why haven't the Yankees been able to do it again?
Yeah, it's kind of weird, right? Like, they did everything right. Amazing players, smart trades, but they also had, like a perfect set of circumstances that you can't just recreate.
Right. It was a new stadium, a new owner, and the team, well, they wanted to prove themselves after that bad year in 2008. So was it just luck?
I don't think so. I mean, yeah, luck plays a part, but they made smart choices. They knew what they were doing. But baseball, well, it's changed a lot since then.
Right. You mentioned like analytics, all the young players, pitching and defense being more important. So how does all that change how you build a team?
Well, with analytics, you can look at players in a different way, right? You can find guys who maybe other teams don't think are that good, but, they fit what you're trying to do. It's not just about getting the biggest names anymore.
So it's not just about spending the most money.
Well, money helps, but teams are, like, really focusing on their farm systems now. You have to develop your own players. It's cheaper, and those guys, well, they grow up together. They learn how to play as a team.
Yeah, that makes sense. But you can't just rely on your young guys, right? You still need to sign some free agents.
Of course. But you have to be smarter about it. You need to find players who fit specific needs, guys who have been successful doing the things that, that help your team win.
So are you saying that maybe the Yankees, even though they won, maybe they spent too much on some of those guys? Like maybe they relied too much on big names?
It's possible. But back then, that was kind of how things worked. But what we can learn from 2009, I think, is that building a winner, well, it's complicated. It's talent, experience, guys getting along, making smart choices, with the draft, trades, free agents. It's a lot.
It sounds like it. Are there any teams today that are doing all of that? Like, are there any teams that are following that blueprint?
Oh, yeah, there are teams doing some really interesting things. Some teams, they're all about the analytics. Others, they focus on, like, developing players or building a strong team culture. The trick is to find what works for you and stick with it.
So there's no, like, one right way to do it.
Nope. Every team's different, right? They have different players, different budgets, different fans. But what we can learn from the 2009 Yankees is that you got to have a plan, you got to be smart, and yeah, you need a little luck too. And maybe the most important thing, you got to be able to change, because baseball, it's always changing.
This has been great. I mean, it's amazing to look back at that team, what they accomplished, and what it all means, even today. I mean, maybe you can't copy exactly what they did, but there are definitely things to learn from them.
For sure. Building a winner, it's hard. But if you look at what other teams have done, the good and the bad, well, it can help you figure out your own path to, to being successful.
And to everyone listening, here's something to think about. When you're watching baseball this year, don't just look at the score or, the big plays. Look at the decisions teams are making, the young guys they're bringing up. You might just be seeing, well, the start of something special.
Thanks for listening, everybody.